Now, the first couple of games in the Champions League round of 16 has just ended. And yes, it was a good Champions League week. Here are the results. And yeah, we've got to talk about some of the ups and downs and some of the predictions to who we think can win the Champions League. First off, let's start with the likes of Man City, who, to be honest, they were impressive. We have no complaints about Man City. We saw them coming into the game beating Copenhagen, and they did just that. We go some De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. The game was literally won from then on. You've got to respect the fact that just like UEFA predicted, Man City still sits at the top for winning the Champions League. And yeah, if you ask me what I think are Man City's chances of still winning the Champions League, I would say it's a solid 9.5 over 10. Right now, the team is in form. Everyone is currently fit and ready to play. And it's like every time you watch Man City, there's a new dimension to how they go about the game. And looking at that team, I think they're in strong contention to win yet another Champions League. And maybe they may do it back to back. Going to Real Madrid, not a very convincing win. I think Leipzig created more chances than Madrid in the first half. Couldn't actually convert their chances. It was a great end-to-end game, to be honest. And the goal from Brahim Diaz, that goal was beautiful. We've got to honest. We've got to be honest. That was a Messi-like shit. It's not every time you see that kind of thing. That was a really good goal, to be honest. So yeah, I would say Madrid chances of winning the Champions League has gone up. Better than Bayern's right now because they are in pool contention to win and they are playing really well. Knowing that they have more than 6 of their best players injured, 3 of their best defenders, some of their midfielders in Jude Bellingham, which is really important to the team, and even some key attackers. So yeah, it's something to look at and say, oh, if they can have these players missing and still win a game like Leipzig and keep a clean sheet. Now, let's keep in mind, they've kept 2 clean sheets. They kept one against Girona and now against Leipzig. It's fair to say that they have a good chance at winning the Champions League. We go to Bayern. Now, Bayern were tipped up to be the second team to win the Champions League after Man City. But let's agree that for some reason, Bayern beats Lazio in the second leg of the Champions League knockout stage. What are the chances that if Bayern were to play a team like Man City, Real Madrid, that they would win? Chances are very low. Let's be factual. They are not playing good football at the moment. They are struggling. Under Tuchel, they have not brought up the kind of performances that would say, oh, this is the Champions League winning performance. And with that, you can't judge them to say, oh, these guys can win the Champions League. Now, Ciro Immobile and his Lazio team did a really good job of closing them down, making sure they didn't have chances to create. But come on, bro. You had no shots on target in that game. 0 shots on target. 0. That's the team that wants to win the Champions League. I honestly don't see that happening. I don't. Let's say they beat Lazio. I'm not sure they can beat Madrid or Man City as it stands. And now the last team on this list, PSG. To be honest, I love Mbappe. He's a really great player. And I love what PSG is trying to do in putting enough energy to make sure that they win the league. But this is a factor that we need to determine. This is a factor we need to determine. When you look at PSG play, you ask yourself, what is this team's definite style of play? What do we exactly know PSG to do? Now, what I saw against Sociedad was a team that did not have a definite style of play. A team that, yes, they won the game through, if you ask me, individual brilliance, but did not have an idea for us to be able to relate and say this is PSG style of play. And that's the problem. If you do not have a definite style of play, when you come up against teams that have a tactics, a pattern that works, you can't win. You definitely can't win. And that's PSG at the moment. And knowing that, I don't think PSG has a strong chance of winning the Champions League. If they played against teams like Madrid or Man City, or even Arsenal, they may not win. That's my take, though. That's how I see it, sorry. But looking at the games, they were all interesting games. I enjoyed every minute of that game. And honestly, I can't wait for next week. So to see what happens next and look at that scaling and see who stays when it comes to who will win the Champions League.